TGIF. It's Friday, casual day. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis. You've just tuned in to the Today Show from the Disability Channel, and everything's just kind of laid back today. Friday is our mixed bag of tricks day. So, the arts. I love Friday to be dedicated to the arts. So, artists, musicians, athletes, authors, that segment of the community. So welcome. And the first thing is to, of course, put out our thank yous to our founder of the TDC channel, the Disability Channel, Jay Stoyan. This ends our third, full week of shows every day. Every day. Oh my gosh. That means I have to get up. I have to put my makeup on. Oh, gee whiz. I'll look forward to Saturday tomorrow when I can just, not do that. And had a lovely slate of guests this past week. And let's see, what else do I need to say? Thank you to Your Home TV, also streaming live right now on Laurie Davis Facebook page, Self-Worth and Missing Link Superstars Facebook page, YouTube, Laurie Davis show host, and also, of course, the Disability Channel Facebook page. So we're here already. And oh my goodness, my favorite gal right now, Kathy Bell. Good morning, Kathy. So happy to have you here. And you're just such a faithful supporter of the show. And I really appreciate you so much and all that you do behind the scenes. And I'd like to have Kathy on the show. We're going to have her as a guest because she's an amazing woman who has accomplished amazing things in her own right. So she says hello to everybody this morning. My special guest today is Virginia Clarke. And some of you know Virginia for a variety of reasons. She was a guest on our show. She was our very first guest on the Today Show. Gosh, Virginia, that's like 3 weeks ago. And but she's also in her own right an artiste. So I wanted to have her on today to talk about her art and what she creates and what she repurposes and what she does with that. So today we're talking art. And if any of you out there are artists, authors, athletes, we throw that into the arts channel day, Friday. But Friday's a mixed bag of tricks. Maybe you're a single mom just doing something incredible out there, raising your kids. It doesn't really matter. But we're always looking for interesting people to speak with. We're booking now into June, way into June for guests. This is a wonderful opportunity to come on and present yourself, your products, your programs, your services, because we all have important information that needs to be shared out there. And maybe somebody doesn't understand or know that there are different ways of doing things. There's different ways to get healthy. There's different ways to manage your money. We have it all. We cover it all. So just to give you a recap, Mondays, self-improvement, self-care, self-worth. And I'm very honored on this coming Monday, our guest will be Sabine Becker. And Sabine Becker was one of those 20,000 babies that were born in the 60s when they administered that drug, thalidomide, to pregnant women to combat morning sickness. And 20,000 babies were born deformed. So wait till you hear her story and how she's recovered from that. So Mondays is self-care. Tuesdays, finance with Dr. Ramin Modiri. And last week, Ramin talked about how do we get into financial trouble and then how we can get out of it. Like, how cool is that? Some tips and techniques. Wednesday's wellness, and we had Kay Sheffield on this past week to talk about two-time cancer survivor and some tips on staying well and what we really need to do for prevention. And yesterday, who did we have? VIP, Voices of Indigenous People, Voices of Veterans, Voice of the Disabled Community. That's our specialized marketable group. And anyway, loved our presentation yesterday as we focused on the program. missing and murdered Indigenous women and talked about that and how horrific that is and how frequent that is. And it's pretty scary. And then on Friday, as I said, a mixed bag of tricks. So Kathy says, what are you doing, Kathy? Simple planning to many trips and cruises. Oh, is that what you want to talk about when you come on? Is that what you're saying? This will be your topic? I love it. That would be amazing. We also have, some of you may not know that the Disability Channel was created to provide an educational platform for the disability community, particularly veterans. You know, people go off to war and they come home and they're, they could be in a wheelchair. Uh, that's how you, Kathy says that's how you get into financial trouble. Too many cruises and trips. Okay. But anyway, yes, and they have an educational platform where they train people to be in the media business. So you can learn how to work behind the camera, in front of the camera, and 85% of their graduates get jobs right away. So there's a big demand. So if you have a family member or someone in your community who's a veteran or who is disabled and they're looking for a career change, and of course, we're in the same boat because we have opportunities as well. If you love doing what we do, which is deliver workshops, you can work from home, and there's also a career opportunity here. So it's just opportunities are all around us. Sometimes we don't see that, right? We don't realize, I was a teacher in the public school system for 15 years, and I thought that's all I could do. I didn't know I could do other things like broadcast. That never entered my mind back then because we get programmed and conditioned and we think that's it. Not so. We can do many things across the board. So that's my little blurb. We're going to take a little 30-second break and watch some snowflakes float up in the air. But I would rather see somebody's product, program, or service here. So if you would like to have an ad on our show, sponsor a show, please contact me and we can talk about it. So I'm just going to do our ad and I'll put my information up on the ticker later on. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. And you are watching live right now the Today Show here on the Disability Channel. And welcome to the show, Virginia.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. You're here today to talk to us in a totally different space than we normally talk about, because we're usually talking about self-worth and workshops and facilitation and those kinds of things, and you're part of our personal team. But there's also a side to you that I wanted to share with our audience, and that is your artistic side. So let's start off with, how early on in your life were you drawing pictures or creating art? Has it always been a part of you, or was it something that came later?
I think it came a little later for me actually creating stuff. I've always been around art. My mother's very artistic, and my father loved to build stuff, I should say. So I've always been around that aspect of it from a young child on. But it wasn't until I actually had my son, and I was thinking, well, what can I do to get me out of the house? A new mom, meet people, and I actually started sewing. So I
Oh,
would
wow.
sew I would sew like baby sleep sacks, car seat covers, anything like that. And that's when I started my little at the markets. So Matt, my son, would come with me to the markets, and he kind of grew up in that arena as well. So that's how we started. Yeah, we started there. sewing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't end there though, did it? It didn't end
No.
there. It expanded itself. So what are some
Yes.
things that you do?
Yeah,
You
it grew
build
into something
a
different.
okay. Okay. So tell me what it grew
Yeah.
into.
Yeah. So it expanded into, well, when Matt was older. Okay, what can I do now? Right? He's not a baby anymore. We don't need to utilize this. So we actually moved out to an acreage in 2012, and on the acreage was an old bunkhouse, and it was actually a bunkhouse that was used. So the owner of the house told us that the last time it was actually lived in was in the 40s. But he
Oh,
promised, yeah, yeah. But he promised, he said, please tear it down. Because Matt was young, he's like, it's falling down, it's not safe. Just promise me you'll tear it down. So I thought, you know what, there's some pretty neat pieces of wood in there where the people living there had marked off the days of how long they'd be in there.
oh
So I
wow.
said, yeah, so I that's how it started. I said to my husband, I said, when we're tearing it down, we need to keep some pieces, keep the windows, keep some of those pieces of wood. I can create something with that. I've always been, with my hands. I help my dad with his construction stuff. So I've always been good with tools, working with my hands. It just, it's that self care, that self, that you can just go in and create something,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's just that beauty of it. So that's how I started with, I call it rust and wood. So my whole goal is to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Cool.
So that's my whole goal. So rust and wood, reduce, reuse, recycle. I love going to different little shops, finding different things that I can use. I utilize antiques, old wood. I've got a pile full of old wood sitting there that my husband's like, what are you going to do with it? I have a little she shed that is full of just things that when I feel the need to get out and go do something, everything is in my space and I can create.
Cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of space, like for example, let's say I'm not even aware, or I don't even realize or know, or I have not yet connected to that creativity. What
Mm-hmm.
are some things people can do to tap into that? Because, a lot of people are very talented, but they don't even know it yet. And I have always wanted to oil paint. I was told that I'd probably be very good at it. Have I tried it yet? No, but it is something that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does a person, because sometimes we think creativity is just art, but there's many kinds of creativity, right? So,
Absolutely.
what kind of space do you need to be in to be creative?
I
That's my question.
just something I could be scrolling through Facebook and something pops up and be like, oh, I've got all the stuff. I could do something like that. Boom,
Okay.
I'll go out. Yeah, absolutely. Or I'll be in a store. Um, like I like small towns, little stores. You find unique things in there. Say a different type of a hook, a different looking hook that I'm like, hey, I've got the perfect piece of wood. I know that that would go on. So for
Oh, wow.
me, that's what it is. It's just doing it. I think for anyone else, just take that first step. How are you going to know if you don't try it?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of people think that because this is programming though, I can't draw, so I'm not creative.
no. There's more. There's way more to any creativity than just drawing. Writing is creativity. Writing is an art form. Poetry is an art form. Yeah.
Right. And I believe
Sewing,
our writing mentor,
just
Sylvia
it's
Somerville,
just
yeah,
doing it, taking that step. And
first step. Sorry about that. It looked like I
mhm,
was interrupting you there,
absolutely.
but you were a little drop in your internet there. But anyway,
No.
it's like our writing mentor taught us, Sylvia Somerville. She said, well, when you're writing, you're creating a picture with words. And she has helped us so much with our writing so that when people are reading our books, they're enveloped in the picture. So it's not something we drew, but we created it with words.
Hmm.
So writing is an art form. Um,
Absolutely.
right? And sewing. I loved sewing. I made 2 quilts a year. I sewed all my own clothes. But I didn't see that as an art form at the time. I just saw it as something that I did out of necessity. It was cheaper to make your own clothes, that type of deal, right? I didn't see it. But now I see it. Wow, yeah, really creative, right? I used to make all my own curtains, big stuff, bedspreads,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I still have quilts that my grandma sewed. Like both sides of my family are very, very artistic. I'm very
Oh,
blessed that way. Absolutely.
hmm
My grandma
hmm
used to make me Barbie doll furniture, and she would
oh,
mail it.
wow.
Oh yeah, like just whatever. So I mean, both sides was,
hmm
my mom's side, more into the woodwork as well. My auntie used to carve little like the men in the wood and stuff like that. So
Oh, yeah.
it's I'm just very blessed with having that creativity on both sides of my family. So yeah,
Right. Well, do you think it's inherited or is it taught? What do you think? Or is it a bit of both?
I think it could be a bit of both. If you never, I mean, if you've never been around anything art in your life, you might not have an inkling to say, hey, maybe I can draw or maybe I can, you know, paint.
hmm
But I think inside, I think it's something inside. I really do. Yeah.
hmm
Because
Well, go
my
ahead.
son's very artistic, but he doesn't see that. It's not something that he um, embraces.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
maybe our colleague Ned Zen could support that if you do a call with her. Um,
so
because I'll acknowledge it and acknowledging it and connecting with it is really important because then you can
mhm,
expand it, right?
yeah,
hmm
yeah.
Absolutely. Now,
Mhm,
last weekend I had a couple of ladies here for a retreat, and they said they went out in my small town searching for beads. Okay,
mm,
because one of them beads makes earrings, necklaces. Anyway, we searched. They searched all over town, no beads. So I made a quick trip to Wetaskiwin
mhm.
because there's a store there that sells beads, and they were like blown away. They came home with bags of beads. So there's another art form, creating jewelry, creating all kinds of great stuff, right? Because it's all. And then, of course, we have what we're doing right now, being on the show. This is highly creative work that we're doing, broadcasting, the media business, highly creative. So I see Jay has arrived. So let's take a little break over here and bring him in because we were bragging about him earlier. Good morning, Jay.
Morning, everybody.
Good
Happy
morning.
welcome to the Friday show, a mixed bag of tricks, we call it.
How are the two ladies doing today?
Good, good.
Yeah, that's
hmm
good. I was listening a little bit offline as I was doing some emails and phone calls, but I had it on my ear. So
Okay.
that's good. Yeah, no, that's great. Beautiful Friday. How is it out in Alberta today?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
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 that's nice. Yeah, it's nice
beautiful.
here too. Nice and sunny. It's about I don't know, 75 degrees. So happy
Nice.
Friday. Let me just jump in and let continue
Yeah.
guys. You guys continue discussing what you're talking about and I'll add my 2 cents.
Oh, you want us to keep going?
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, the thing is, why don't you, though, because we've got a good time to have a little break, why don't you just share a little something about the Disability Channel? I always explain it my best way, but you're the one who explains it the very best, Jay. So,
Yeah.
as the
So
yeah, go ahead.
we have quite a few tentacles out there in the atmosphere from the obviously the disability community, which is our focus, getting people off assistance, giving them a purpose to get out of bed, have a new job, new skills. Working in the media is very rewarding. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of different type of people. Everybody from the mom and pop who run the corner shop to an athlete, a celebrity, a politician, And our slant is always positive, right? We want to work with everybody. We want to try and support everybody. We have a wonderful graduates who are always looking for employment, either part-time or full-time, and we are a job creator. So we will be later in the year, we'll be announcing some job opportunities regarding veterans and persons with disabilities and production. We're big supporters of the Invictus Games. So that's going to be out in BC in 225. And we're going to have some dealings there. I can't reveal too much, but we will be doing that. Also, we have created a new job opportunity through a wonderful platform called AMG, which is film, music, and television. So if you go on our Facebook page, you'll see some updates. It's all about creating jobs, right? All about creating jobs for our graduates because they take our classes and they graduate and they're looking for work, right? So, yeah, right. So I want to give a big shout out to our grads. Obviously, we're all about helping out our veterans. We currently have a 50-50 going on, courtesy of the Veterans House Charitable International Alliance. They just recently updated their name because now they've gone international. So check them out on our website. I want to give a big shout out to Big Records. As I've been working behind the scenes with a gentleman, the boss there, Mark at Big Records. So what we're doing, the channel is going to be adding a PR element to our platform because what we teach during our programs is social media and how to promote your goods or services or your personality, right? So that's also a good and service, right? So I've been sort of prodded and poked and pleaded and to say, Jay, why don't you, expand your platform, expand your portfolio because of all the access you have and all the communications and people into a PR for the entertainment world. So this is what I'm kind of doing now. So I'm going to be focusing primarily on musicians, but musicians lead into television, lead into film, lead into all types of different things. So yeah, so we got to sort of like a chain of events. We have different levels. We're going to be bringing in very high elements, but it's all about to promote the emerging mainstream or independent artists in a process, right? So, and I'm not going to tell the process because that's secret recipe, but the process basically is you got a product or service, you come to us and we'll get it out there in a platform step pattern. So we're very excited about that. So we're going to be, so if you're a musician out there and you're looking to promote your song, promote yourself, I will set you up with Mark and then we'll go through the channels and maybe we'll make you the next superstar, the next Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, or whatever you want to do, right? You just want to, because I know a lot of people, like for instance, I talk a lot. Wow. So, for instance, I produced a country album for a really good friend of mine. Her name was Mary back, I'm going to say, in the early 2000s. And you would never think this lady, and she was like, she wasn't 22. She was like 45, 50 years old. She had a family. She had a job. She had responsibilities. But her dream was to get somebody to produce a country album that she created these songs. So she was a good friend of my brother, and we became really good friends. She was an East Coaster. I love East Coasters. Just such a nice lady. Nice lady. Her husband, they were in the film and television business. I'm best friends with her daughter today still. And she just said, hey, Jay, I know you're kind of in the business and I have a dream and I've been told I can sing. And I went, really? I said, I never really thought like the 2 and 2, right? So we just sat down and she showed me these songs and I was entering the business, right? And I was really green, but I had some people that I knew and I had a lot of musicians that I knew back in the day. And one thing turned to another, and I produced an album for her. I have the album somewhere. I don't know. But I think I had like 10 songs on it. And we had an opening. You know, we had the CD party back in the day on the lakeshore at one of the famous country bars. She said, "You made my dream come true." And that
Wow.
was it. Like, that was it. She wasn't like exploring everybody's talent or American Idol. She just wanted to see if she could produce her, you know, get an album, her dream. And I produced it for her. And she said, "Jay, you made my dream come true." So again, even if you're looking at that, just to say, challenge yourself and just say, you know what, I love to, I don't know, do a song. Well, we can help you accomplish that. So that's very exciting. I want to give a big shout out again to our people at Your Home TV. So yeah, so getting back to that, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start to help people outside of the disability community and veteran world. Not that I wouldn't help a musician who's a veteran or disabled, but I'm just saying we're branching out, right? We're branching more into the entertainment world. And just seeing where it goes from there. So we're really excited about that. Again, I want to give a big shout out to Your Home TV. I did mention this the other day. We're going to be having our next fundraiser, right? Courtesy of K-Dog Productions. So that's a good friend of the channel. He wants to step out. He's been to many of our fundraisers in the past, and he always said, "Jay, you know, I'd love to help you guys. You know, I have my own connections, my own music love, my own interests. And I'd love to be a part of your next fundraiser so much that I'd like to finance it." So big shout out to K-Dog. He's financing our next fundraiser at Kerrigan Arms, my favorite spot in Burlington. It's a mom and pop Irish pub on Upper Middle and Brand Street. They give great food, great service. It's just like it's almost like you're walking into somebody's basement, you know, that you've been there for 20 years. You're going into a friend's basement. That's what it is. The people are great. They're regulars. It's a mature crowd, but you know, everybody's welcome. So there's no stuff, right? It's all good. You go in there, everybody's nice to you. So that's going to be, right now we're planning it in October. Again, I'll give you more details. We're going to, Freedom Train's going to be the feature band. We might have an opening act. We might have a special guest. We might have a celebrity show up because it's going to coincide with what we're doing in the fall season regarding our employment programs and the entertainment element. And I'm not going to give away too many secrets, but, and it's going to be a free event, right? So it's going to be a free event, and you don't see Freedom Train for free. So everybody knows Freedom Train. You don't see them for free. So this is a free event. And what we're asking is, we're going to be attaching the Veteran Alliance House charitable platform, right? So what we're asking, and they're also going to be doing a 50-50. I'm going to get Long and McQuaid involved, maybe give away a guitar with a star signature on it. So we're asking for, when you walk through the door, if you'd be kind enough to donate towards our employment programs to give people with disabilities and veterans an opportunity to join our programs, right? And the 50-50, right? And so someone's going to win 50-50, right? And the proceeds, again, will go towards our programs. Like I said, we're going to do a guitar. We're going to film the event because the event might be involved in something else down the road. So I just don't want to give too many secrets away. I'm full of secrets. I know. I get people all the time. I get my friends all the time, right? Because, you know, everybody's on social media. So, you know, my Facebook page is kind of it's almost for my personal friends who I grew up with, right? And they always say to me, "Jay, you leave some cryptic messages on your Facebook. Like you don't tell people. You just leave these little things for people to figure out." I said, "Yeah, well, it's only because I don't like to give away the house, and it's part of the showbiz world, which is unfortunate. You know. Oh, when we come back, we're gonna blow the top off our next segment. So tune in."
Right on. Well, look who's here. This is my performing friend. He was on the show last Friday, Prince Fleet Easton out of Palm Springs, California. He's a performer, and you need to check him out because he's pretty gifted and talented. And he's been performing for decades and still jumps on tables and things like that. And we understand that because oftentimes when Prince is starting a new project, he'll say, "Laura, I can't tell you this because, and there's all the legalities attached to it as well, right? So He understands totally that concept. But anyway, tuning in with us this morning. Thank you, Prince. Awesome. Great to see you here.
You have a lot of friends in California, Laurie.
I do.
It seems every time you bring on somebody that seems like, wow, they have a California connection, which is great because, California, like, wow, like,
Yeah, no, I love it down there.
it's the best.
Yeah, and I have, they're all clients. They've all been clients taking my workshops and so on. So then,
why don't you do this, Laurie, for people that are just turning in maybe for the first time? Give our daily agendas for them.
okay, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I usually do that. And on Mondays we do self-care, self-worth, self-help, and we like to feature a guest. And Monday I'm going to have Sabine Becker on as a guest. And Sabine Becker was one of those 20,000 babies that were born in the 60s, deformed because of a drug called thalidomide. And they gave that drug to pregnant women to combat morning sickness. And so she's amazing what she has accomplished. And so she's on Monday. Tuesday, we do finance. And this Tuesday was really fun because Ramin did, here's how you get into financial trouble, and here's how you get out. So he actually gave us tips on how to, which I love. Wednesday, wellness. We had Kay Sheffield this past week who talked about her 2-time cancer surviving. She's been 22 years cancer-free. And how to stay well by eating, your vegetables and your fruits and all that. And then on Thursday, yesterday, our VIP Voices of Indigenous People, Voices of Veterans, Voices of the Disabled Community. We talked about the missing and murdered Indigenous women awareness and making us all aware of what's going on there. And then Friday's a mixed bag of tricks and along the arts, so music, authors. Virginia's here today. She's going to share some of her artwork that she does, repurposes wood and all that kind of stuff. And we've had Virginia on as a guest because she's on my team, but at the same time, there's this artistic side to her that not very many people know about. So I said, let's talk about that for a change.
That's great. I love that. Okay, Virginia, you're up. Okay.
All right, Virginia, let's go to some pieces that you brought. And for those of you that are just joining us, Virginia's one of those people who can take an old piece of wood and turn it into something beautiful. So, yeah. So what did you bring?
So we'll start with this guy. Okay.
Okay.
So these are old insulators from the power lines. Okay.
Oh.
These are old bed springs.
Oh my God.
Just on a simple piece of wood. I liked it because of the, the way the critters climbed in there. So it, gives it a little bit of bling. And then, yeah, ta-da, you have a candle holder.
I love it.
You can put
hold
tapers
it up.
in
Let's see
there.
it. Hold it up. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Hold up higher.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So you can put tapers in there. You can put tea lights in there. Anything like that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's one. So whatever I can find that catches my eye, I can reuse. I love old horseshoes. Okay. So this is another type of candle holder as well. So just for tea lights. Yeah. Just something simple. Half a log.
Horseshoe on the bottom.
Horseshoe on the bottom. That's it. That holds it there. Yeah.
You know what I like a lot? I love artistic people, and I love how everybody has their own interest and is so passionate about their own interest. Like they're also, interested in other stuff, but it just blows my mind. Like this, for instance, Virginia, holding up that candle holder. I could tell that you were like really into it, like really like, yeah. And it's just like for somebody, you know what I mean? And it just blows my mind how people have so many different interests, but as an artist, even though that has nothing to do with your interests, everybody respects an artist respects another artist's interest. You know what I mean? Because they all know how hard it takes, and how innovative in the thought process and the work you put into it, and how proud you are of making it look good. So I just wanted to share that, because I love artists with different interests that I'd have no interest at all. Like, no, domesticated, not at all. I wouldn't even know what that word to start. But I love it that you like that. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. And one more I have, a bigger piece. So I just find different unique hooks. This actually came from one of the old grain elevators.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so when I antique, because that's what I antique, and then I found the wood, and when you actually cut it, you could smell the grain. It was really
Oh,
neat.
wow.
Yeah, so anything simple like that, like you find some unique hooks, you throw it on a piece of wood, like it's just a thick piece of wood. That's it.
So do you have a little workshop, or where do you do all this stuff from? Right where you are right now, or?
Yeah, we have an acre. We live on an acreage.
Okay.
So yeah, so I have my own little, I call it my she shed. So all my things that I collect. So I have, drawers full of stuff. And when something catches my eye, Laurie and I had talked about earlier, when you get that urge to go out and, okay, I need to put something together. I just open drawers. What do I got? Pull some stuff out. What can I go from here? So, and yeah, I've got piles of wood. Yeah, just so many ideas and things that I want to do.
So you have like a little studio?
Yeah.
I've got tons of windows. I'd love to do more with windows. We usually, what we've done, a little shed.
Mm-hmm. That must be your Zen area.
Yeah. Well,
that's nice. I like that. I love a studio. I have a music studio.
So. And it is, disorganized, but I know where everything is.
Right.
Right. My husband would have a heart attack going in there. Everything has to be in a place in his space. Where mine is, everything is everywhere, but I know where everything is. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fun.
Well, we were talking, Jay, about all different kinds of creativity, and some people don't even realize that they're creative because they can't draw. So they think, I can't draw, so I'm not creative. That conditioning, that limited thinking, that because everything that you do, Jay, is in the creative area of life for sure. And the media is a highly creative arena. And writing, we just we're going to be finishing up a writer's workshops that we took with our writer guru. And she said, well, when you write, it's like you're painting, you paint a picture with words so that people can visualize it in their mind. And so writing is an art form. Maybe you can't draw, but you can write, and that's artistic. That's creativity.
Well, I think being in the art, in the art world, if you want to call it being artistic, it's very challenging. But I see the same type of challenges because I have a lot of friends that are skilled laborers, right? Skilled laborers. There's plumbers, they're carpenters, they're ditch diggers, but they're really good. And they have as much artistic value and pride. And it blows my mind that I'm a lefty because I'm not built like a laborer. I'm just not. I'm just like through my illness and all that, and I'm a little lazy. So you know what I mean? So I'm lucky that I'm a lefty and I can be a little creative because I look at those guys like my friends and they're on their hands and knees every day and doing the jobs like, oh my God. So I got to give it to them. Like, I feel like I lucked out in a way. Not that it made me anything, but
you're a wuss. Let's just call it what it is.
It's not like it's not even, I'm artistic, so I'm living high in the high. No.
But when you were, I'm sorry. But when you were talking about the tradespeople, my husband spent 30 years in the aircraft industry, and he repaired helicopters were his thing. Okay, actually military, the Sea Kings. That's what he worked on. But he doesn't think he's creative, but he is highly creative. He can take, if he didn't have a tool to repair a certain piece of that helicopter. He made the tool.
Yeah, he would take a piece of
right?
string and gum and grass.
Whatever, right? And he had these little tiny wrenches and stuff on long, thin pieces of metal, so he could get up in there and, it's amazing what he created and what he can create.
You know what we should do, talking about that? We should dedicate a Friday to the hardworking laborers. I would love to bring on a plumber who has his own business, or a carpenter who works, a union leader, just somebody, and tell us your life, your industry, because all we talk about is the art world, right? And creative stuff and attaching budgets. I'd like to have on a laborer and just tell us about his day-to-day activity, and tell us about some of the success stories that his clients, they always go to him. They almost give him the key because they trust him, and they've worked with him for 25 years, and now they work with his son. And I would really like that, to have some labor.
Well, we can do that.
Branch out, right? I think that's important. I think that's very important.
I just thought of three guys we could have on, and we could do like a panel. We can do a panel. Maybe
different industries, right? I think that would be great. And we just ask them questions, and we can promote their business for them.
That's right.
Maybe get them more clients, because we have quite the client base of, veterans and persons with disabilities, especially the persons with disabilities. They need support. They're looking for, maybe a handyman or something like that. And we know veterans are so friggin' handy. Like, oh my God, they can do it all. They're all MacGyvers. Right. So right. I think that would be great.
Well, speaking of which, let's go back to Virginia and ask her the question. So what do you do with all your art? Do you sell it? Do you promote it? Like, what do you call your business? I think you have a business.
So I actually have done the markets for years, up until COVID. Actually, I did markets every week. And the name of this business is called Rust and Wood by Virginia, because it doesn't matter if it's rusty, I still use it. And I think we talked about the fact that I have nothing that I've done in the house. But then I thought about it. We do have a picture frame, window frame that we did turn into a mirror. So we do have one thing hanging. We do.
Okay. Yeah. Because I asked Virginia, this was another thing. I asked Virginia, I said, did you bring some things to show? And she said, no, I didn't. I said, well, go grab something. We have time off your wall, And she said, oh my God, I don't have any of my own stuff hanging on my own wall. I wonder what that's about. This is the same woman. But this is the same woman. You see behind her all these beautifully framed certificates she has behind her. This is the same woman, Jay. I'm talking about her behind her back, but she's here, so I'm talking in front of her face. That she had all these beautiful awards and certificates in a drawer in a file folder.
Wow. I'm just promoting as we're speaking. So I'm promoting. Our Facebook page is blowing up. So I'm just letting you guys know. I'm paying attention. I'm just promoting. That's all.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I said, what are they doing in a folder? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, let's pitter patter. And so behind her in her office wall, as you can see, she's got all these wonderful certificates that she's earned over the years. Look at this. Programs that she's taken, courses that she's taken. I mean, she's so credentialed. And credible, I must add.
That's great.
All right. Yeah. So let's take a little 30-second break, and just to share that this is a place and an opportunity where you can advertise, sponsor a show, contact me. I'll put my email up there. And while you're watching the snowflakes float up into the sky, think about and imagine or visualize that your book is there being advertised, or your business, or your cause, or if you have an event coming up. And this is where we can put it on the show. So we'll be right back. welcome back, everyone. I see Jay stepped out because he's busy promoting us right now. So it was really lovely to have him here with us this morning. And my guest today, Virginia Clarke, the artiste. And we're here talking about being creative and getting creative. And Virginia, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was you've expanded your art, though, into the self-help field. And
Mhm.
you took some workshops on how to do art with people recovering from addictions. So, would you share a little bit about what that looks like and how that supports people struggling with addictions? Over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called therapeutic art. As a disclaimer, I'm not a therapist. So this is, they call it, it just benefits the body or the mind, and it doesn't harm anyone. So when we talk about our therapeutic art, what we do is we reach into ourselves. And maybe there's some things as we're going through recovery that maybe we can't say, but we sure can paint, color, draw, whatever, get it out of us onto some paper. Maybe, as we're recovering, we always go through that part of feeling shame, feeling guilt, um, not ready to say those words out loud. Absolutely. Get it out on paper. It doesn't matter if it's a big black scribble on the paper. If that is what needs to come out, then that's what's going to come out. And that's the beauty of it is you do not have to be artistic to scribble on a piece of paper. You do not have to be artistic to do therapeutic art. And there's so many different types of therapeutic art that you can go through, just depending on, who you're working with, anything like that. So there's so many different options of things that you can do, different mediums. So, we use paint, colors, markers. We've got clay. We have beads. Just as we're, one of the things that I do with someone when I'm working with them for an extended period, we create little creatures out of beads because for us in recovery, we need to start something and we need to finish something. So to show us the proof that we can start and finish something, we create little lizards out of beads. Something simple, something that's been around forever, but something that you have to sit there and focus on and start and finish in one sitting. So just gives you that extra, you know, kick in the pants or whatever, saying, "Hey, I can do this. If
Mhm.
I can start this and finish this, and I can do anything." So just something simple as that. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Virginia, one of the things we have to do right away is Friday is Booty Day. So we have some prizes to give away. And how
Perfect.
we put the names in the hat, if your name appeared with a comment on a Facebook streaming, or if you commented on the show, you came on and you commented and you were here. So these are our prize winners for this week. So the first one is on Monday, we had Nadzen de Gagne, and Nadzen has worked 17 years with youth. So she gave away an hour of her time with a parent and a youth. So, Virginia, you are the winner of that prize. And if you don't
Yay!
want it or you can't use it, it might be, you have your son, but if you can't use it, then we can pass it, pay it forward, pay it forward. Okay. And we have Kay Sheffield gave two prizes, so we gave away two prizes. One is a book called The Power of Networking, and you know who won that? Lisa Horn in Saskatoon. And Kay also gave away a half an hour of her time to discuss wellness. And the winner this week of her half hour is Kathy Bell.
Oh,
Kathy,
yay!
another prize. Oh my God. And then we gave away yesterday 2 seats to our recovery summit. And our recovery summit is happening next weekend. And you can come in for the whole weekend. You can come in to listen to one speaker. 2 speakers. It's online. And our winner for that is Lynn Durrett. And that's a contact that I will pass on. And then I gave away an hour of my time just to come in and have a chat with me. And the winner of that hour is Teresa Straight. So there are our prize winners for this week. And so, yeah, people who support the show and come in, we put your name in the hat all week long. I record who's there, and people email me, and then we put the names in a basket and we draw them. So I did that before the show today to save time. So there you have it. All right.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to all of our winners. And maybe, Virginia, you might want to chat just to do a little promo for our Recovery and Performance Summit and tell our viewers about that.
Yes, absolutely. This is our third Recovery and Performance Summit, and I have been blessed to be a speaker at all three. I will be speaking on this one at this one as well. And yeah, it's just so many amazing stories about recovery, what people went through, the darkness they endured, and how they came back on top, came back out fighting, and are just doing so well today. And we always are open to anyone who has a recovery story. We need, we need you to tell your story. That's how people heal. We heal by sharing. We can help heal others because everyone feels alone, but they're not alone. We're all going through something, and we've all recovered from certain things, and we need to share that. That's our duty. If we've recovered and we know how, and we can share that with someone else who may be in that dark place, that's our duty as human beings. So absolutely.
Yeah, and I call that, our duty. I love that. But, we have a moral obligation, I think,
Absolutely.
when it comes to helping each other. And
I
if my
agree.
story would help you, then that's awesome. So we have 18 speakers coming on
Yes.
board next weekend, starting Friday morning. And if you want a ticket to the event, it's $25. And you can use this email to do an e-transfer if you wish. Or if you're in the US, you can use PayPal, the same address. The $25 is for the whole 3 days, so you can come in and out at your leisure. And all we need is your name and your email sent to us here. And then we put you on the registry. You'll receive a link for the whole 3 days. Every speaker donates a prize. So we love prizes. I love surprises. So they donate prizes, and we have winners after each speaker. We have all cultures, male, female, backgrounds, you name it, they're there. And if you're interested, we can send you out the flyers that outline,
Very inclusive.
showcase the speakers, right? So there you have it. The upcoming Recovery Summit. We're going to be pumping that out all next week and looking forward to seeing you as part of our summit. We do one a quarter, so every 3 months. So we'll have to figure out our dates, Virginia, for the next one. It'll be that's not a Labor Day weekend, but I think it'll be sometime, maybe like the last weekend or the first weekend of October would be our next one. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Virginia, thank you so much. You're always willing to help out and participate. And it was great today for you to have an opportunity, I think, to share that side of you. That I love that candle holder. And it's our favorite color, teal, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was amazing. 2 old bed springs, really? Okay. All righty. Give this girl anything, she can make something out of it. So that's called repurposing, I believe.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to budding artists, people who would love to be more artistic, or words of encouragement or wisdom? Over to you.
Just find what ignites you. It doesn't have to be drawing. It doesn't have to be painting. There's so many different types of artistic venues that just find what ignites you and just run with it. That's what I have to say. I didn't set out starting thinking, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire, like Jay had commented, living the high life. It's part of self-care for me because I enjoy that, and that artistic side of me sometimes, just needs to get out. So yeah, just do it. Just find your passion and run. Yeah.
And I just thought of another thing. I hadn't thought of it as being artistic, but I love to cook and I love presentation and I love setting a beautiful table. And that's all very artistic too. So it could be as simple as cooking. I mean, look at
Absolutely.
chefs, look what they do with fruit and cut them up. You know, it's it's
Yeah.
amazing. And Kathy, this
Baking.
is good for us to know.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Beautiful. I don't know. Maybe when I'm running too many things, I disappear. All right. So, anyway, Dr. Laurie Davis, my guest today, Virginia Clarke. You've been listening to The Today Show here on the Disability Channel. Have a terrific weekend, safe weekend, and we'll see everybody on Monday.